Welcome back. Well, after a huge debate over the tough new anti-cow slaughter laws in Maharashtra and Haryana, Home Minister Rajnath Singh has sparked off another debate, speaking openly in favour of a national legislation. However, the opposition has attacked him today, saying that he's only propagating the RSS's agenda.
कैसे हम लोग इस बात को स्वीकार कर सकते हैं कि इस देश में गो हत्या होनी चाहिए? हम लोग पूरी ताकत लगाकर इस पर प्रतिबंध लगाने की हम लोग अपनी तरफ से कोशिश करेंगे और इस संबंध में हम एक आम सहमति बनाने के लिए भी जिस हद तक प्रयास हो सकता है हम अपनी तरफ से प्रयास करेंगे.
I think whatever is the dictates of the RSS, that is what the BJP wants to implement. Whatever is such legal steps are taken by a state government or central government, that should be on the basis of a consensus.
Well, it's one thing for individual states to have legislations to this effect, but when you talk about a national anti-cow slaughter law, is that changing the game completely? And is there an agenda behind this? Does it affect people's freedom of choice? Should the state be dictating what you and I should be eating at home? Professor Rakesh Sinha, RSS ideologue, also joins us in this segment tonight. Shobha Dey is joining us from Mumbai, and Sabha Naqvi is here with us tonight, the political editor of Outlook. Let me take that question to you, Shobha Dey, first. You're from the state that actually first created headlines with its stringent new laws on cow slaughter and the beef ban. When you hear now about this being implemented possibly, or the idea that the Home Minister would support it at a national level, I mean, does it concern you that this is actually affecting people's freedom of choice?
Wait, it concerns me a lot, as it concerns, I'm sure, millions of people across India. Absurdity seems to pile up on absurdity as it's snowballing into something which is quite ugly. I think there is something much more going on behind this, even the idea of what Rajnath has suggested. Today he's playing the giant card. Tomorrow it will be some other card. Today he's saying you can't eat cows across India. You know, the thing is that people are being either deliberately misled or misinformed. There's a hocus pocus thing about this is in our scriptures, it's in our Vedas. It's nowhere. It is nowhere. It is something that has a strong political message, and that is what one should resist. It is curbing freedom of choice, and that political message is dangerous. As it is, the minorities in India are under threat. They're feeling the pressure. Today, now, when you're talking about something like this, the pressure is on them much more than it is on anybody else. So what is the government trying to convey? It's a kind of ban everything party suddenly. There has to be consensus. The people of India have to be consulted, and let's not make the atmosphere this vicious. There is a strong political message going out that is going to be this agenda and no other agenda. They're testing the waters. If you don't want to eat a particular food group or a particular meat, don't eat it. Don't eat it. Do not impose that on everybody else. That freedom of choice you cannot take away. Okay. There are other nations, other countries, they eat alligators, they eat dogs, they eat snakes, they eat whatever they want. But they don't impose that or restrict other people from eating what they want.
Yeah, there are a lot of countries in the Middle East, for instance, and Sabha, when you go to these countries, they will have separate counters where pork is sold, and it says that this is going to be sold to non-Muslims. Absolutely. What do you think is the real problem here? Yeah. I mean, you wrote a very exhaustive piece on this where you said that this is actually something that's fueled by hatred and the stereotyping of the minority community, which is ironic because it's not just minorities that eat beef, right?
Yes.
And
first of all, there's no point. I mean, I'm not even waiting, and I hope nobody will say that in Muslim countries nobody eats pork. We are a liberal democracy. We are not a totalitarian regime. We are not a religious nation. But the pork thing, the beef issue, unfortunately, Nidhi, always becomes a Muslim issue. Whereas the truth is that there are many non-Muslims also who eat beef. And let me also state this right up front. Cow slaughter is banned in most parts of India. Yeah. In my entire life, in my families from Eastern UP, in a certain class of Muslims, there is no beef cuisine at all. It is a protein for the poorer people, some of whom happen to be Muslims, some of whom happen to be Dalits. It is eaten much more in Kerala. it is part of the cuisine. There is none. Kashmir is a Muslim majority state. Do you think beef is part of the cuisine? It's not.
No, it's not.
It's
I
not.
know that. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So,
Yeah.
be it Hyderabad, be it UP, let's be very clear. It's all mutton, lamb. So, beef is not part of any great Indian cuisine. Having said that, cow slaughter is banned across the Hindi heartland for years and years. There were cow
But
agitations.
now the punishments are becoming stringent. So you could go to 10
Yes.
years in jail in Haryana.
Yes, you
Or
could,
5
but
years in Maharashtra.
But you know, Nidhi, what happens is when you keep on saying this, when you keep on feeling the need that gaon hamari mata hai aur hame kuch karna padega, as if people are out there slaughtering cows. And you may remember that in October 2 in Delhi last year, there was an attempt to instigate a riot in an area called Bhavana, and they found this guy and they said, he's with a cow, and he turned out to have been a milkman, you know, saying that cows are being slaughtered. Now, so first of all, it is there. Then the other point about this whole issue is that there is an entire argument that says it is not Muslims who are so bothered, it's actually it's farmers who want to sell off cows when they stop giving milk, and they need to get rid of them. And what happens? Does the RSS or the VHP look after cows? You
No,
see
actually
them on
those
Indian
cows are
streets.
treated very
They're
cruelly.
so, you know how
They're left to die. They're left to die. I know.
People die.
Yeah.
They die with plastic in their intestine. It's a very, very cruel death.
They're
They
literally
eat
left
garbage.
out to die.
Yes.
But Professor Rakesh Sinha, the point is that why not just let people make a decision on this? I mean, this, you know, the question that Shobha De was also raising is that it's about choice. We are not a Hindu nation, despite what Mohan Bhagwat wants.
I think Shobha De's study of Indian culture and Indian history is lacking such a study, because it is not a question of religion or culture of Hindus, and the RSS, Rajnath Singh is propagating RSS views. In the Constituent Assembly, it was debated. And it was debated, then Constituent Assembly formed a committee, and that committee unanimously recommended that there should be a ban on cow slaughter. And I am adding here, the Muhammad Sadullah, he was from Assam, and J.H. Lari, he was from United Provinces, that was Uttar Pradesh was known as United Provinces. Both of them categorically said that it should be banned because millions of Hindus worship cow as mother. So that should be banned. Moreover, the economic regions has been discussed in the Constituent Assembly, and they found that economically the slaughtering of the cow and maintaining the cow, the slaughtering is more than, because economically it is not beneficial for the country. And secondly, the Supreme Court has discussed in 2005, and it has given the decision that it should be banned. And late Rajiv Dixit has made a serious study, and he kept before the people that 7,000 you are gaining by slaughtering, and lakhs of rupees gaining by the cow.
Yeah, but now you could go to jail for just possession of beef.
Because
it's become much
reasons.
more stringent. You already had anti-cow slaughter laws in place. Now it's like it's like the anti-dowry law in a sense. The onus is on you to prove that you didn't do anything wrong.
Because even after the law, there is a prevailing corruption. And the second thing, that how many people eat beef? The number of people, the Hindu newspaper has made a survey. Only 3% in the urban area and 4% in the rural area. They eat beef.
So then why ban it? I mean, what minorities? I mean, people, they might be 3%
ban
Shobha
it.
De, they might be 1%, but that's their choice, right? That's the point.
But there is no full
Absolutely.
fascism.
Shobha first, yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Shobha.
I'd like to thank the gentleman for pointing out my lack of knowledge in cultural matters and other historical matters. But I'd also like to remind him that there is something like playing on sentiment, and this is exactly what the party is doing right now. If it's a matter of 3%, then why make it an all India issue? They're making it an all India issue because they are testing the waters. Today, if they can get away with this, tomorrow they'll introduce something else. I mean, and also by playing to a Jain card, they might turn around and say in certain months we won't be able to eat root vegetables, for example, and see how that flies. The point is that a lot of people are losing their jobs on account of this. What are we going to do with the old cows? They're talking about creating shelters for old cows when there are no homes for old people in this country. Prime land is being, I believe, assigned to look after old cows. Can we afford to do that? There are so many people
Okay, let me just get a
unemployed.
sense,
The
one
leather
second. Yeah.
industry is in turmoil.
No,
so the
let me just
economic
get a
issues
sense
are
also
equally
from the
important
Congress.
and valid.
Yeah, Shobha, let me just get a sense also from the Congress on where
Yes.
the party stands on this. Dr. Ajay Kumar, if the BJP indeed does want to push for a national law against cow slaughter, and to be fair, Rajnath Singh admitted that that probably is going to be very difficult right now when they don't have a majority in the Rajya Sabha. But if they were to do that, what would your position be? Because didn't you all support it in Haryana?
No, first question, Nidhi, is, that correctly one of the speakers said previously that it's banned in 20 out of 29 states, cow slaughter. So it's only a jumla which the BJP want to raise it, and I want to correct Mr. Sinha that the Constituent Assembly discussed it and put it under Schedule 7 under the rights of the state. You know, the point number 15 under Schedule 17 said that the state will decide the treatment of animals, and it was brought under a part of the directive principles. So it is purely a political game, because 20 out of 29, which are the states which don't have it? Some of the northeast state, Kerala and all, you build consensus, that's fine. But and let me correct Professor Sinha that 17% beef export has increased in the past 1 year. So all this is only political positioning, inflaming passions, and it's
Then
ridiculous.
why did you support
20 out of
the Haryana
29
law?
states is the data.
Why did your party support the Haryana law?
No,
You believe
20
it's
out of
about inflaming passions. You were supporting it in the Haryana Assembly.
No, the first question, Nidhi, what we are trying to say is it's a state issue. You reflect what the people, the majority of the opinion on the state is. There's nothing to do with the government. It's banned in 20 out of 29. It's banned in Punjab, it's banned in Delhi, it's banned in Rajasthan.
But if you're saying that this is some kind of political propaganda,
So-
why?
so-
My question is, in Haryana, which has now decided that it could be a 10-year jail term
It's
for
a state-
slaughtering cows, that is the most stringent anti-cow slaughter law the country has today, and the Congress backed that. So how can you turn around and accuse the BJP of playing politics on this? You supported that in principle.
No, because because the question is, again, it's a state issue. What we are trying to say is you need to build consensus, leave it to the state to decide. And why they're lazying at national level, the national level has got no role to play.
Okay,
It
so
is left to the state. So
you're
the
making
majority
this a
of people in
federalism
Kerala and the
argument.
legislature. And the other issue is the fact that Maharashtra, let's look at Maharashtra. Cow slaughter was banned in 76. Now they went ahead just to raise passions about beef. But one thing which we are going to ask the BJP definitely, if they're such well-wishers for the cow, then let them give a guarantee and bring a law in the parliament that they will look after the cows and pay the farmers adequate compensation. Because remember, when they brought this in Maharashtra, the farmers were dying due to the drought, and they want to divert attention. So the whole issue is just politics, no concern about the cow, no concern about his welfare. Just keep raising passion.
Sambit has patiently listened to all the criticism, and now Sambit, you get your chance to respond to that about the motivations. What is it that is what is the motive behind now this suggestion of a national law?
Now, Nidhi, two things. Before I begin with the specifics, let me in a very sarcastic way put this to my friend Ajay, that Congress is no holy cow. So Congress is absolutely confused today as to what it should be saying. Most of the law that has come up in most of the states, thanks to the Congress, and today it is trying to posture itself in a different way. Anyhow, coming to the specifics, one thing to Shobha ma'am. Shobha ma'am, you are talking about the religious connotations. In particular, that there is nothing called as religious connotation. I have the West Bengal Animal Slaughter Control Act 1950, and this had an exemption for religious purposes, that for religious purposes cow could be slaughtered. Then there was a petition in the Supreme Court of India, and the Supreme Court of India brought this down, saying that the exemption has to be done away with, that even for religious purposes cow cannot be slaughtered. So to say to it that there is no religious connotation has been clamped down by none other than the highest court of the country. Number two, most of the states have either been divided into three categories: a complete ban, a ban with some kind of relief, and then we have a ban which is almost a ban, but the ban has not been practiced. So why are we having a discussion over here? As far as the statement of Mr. Rajnath Singh is concerned, you have to see the context under which Mr. Rajnath ji made this statement. He was in a function of a particular community where he was asked whether the party is committed towards cow slaughter ban or not. He said, well, yes, as written in our manifesto, we are committed towards it, but not without building a consensus.
Sambit, Sabha is disagreeing with you on that. Sabha is shaking her head. Why?
No, Sambit, please, come on, he's the Home Minister of India. Surely he knows what he's... cow slaughter is historically such a sensitive issue. And so please, I mean, you know it and I know it. You know, that's like saying that because he was in front of the Jains, he said, let's
No, it's not that because he was in front of, it is in the manifesto also.
Absolutely.
No, that's what you said. That's what you implied.
He was a
No,
Samvit,
in fact, I would say that what it smacks of is a majoritarian statement after the Prime Minister and your party is actually struggling not to appear to do so. So I'm wondering whether the PM would also be happy at this point, even though in the run-up to the campaign, we did hear talk about a pink revolution. But would that position have changed right now?
You're saying he's struggling to dissociate himself from
Maybe, I don't know whether he would be happy right now because we've been told.
I just want to ask a quick question to Sabha.
I mean,
go ahead, Samvit.
I'm intrigued.
Sabha, the UP, Uttar Pradesh cow slaughter, the state you belong to, Prevention Act was brought in 1955 by none other than Pandit Govind Ballabh Pant. Do you say that Mr. Pant wanted to do all this just because he was communal? And in fact, Karnataka brought this act in 1964.
It's not
most of the states brought these acts in a time when Congress was in power.
Sambit, you're reading out state after state. Sambit, you're reading out. That is not the point here. The point is, what was the need for the Home Minister to make a statement which is loaded, which does sound majoritarian? There's already, it's a state subject. The certain states have, as you
it was not just a statement. Let me remind you, Mr. Rajnath Ji, when he was the minister in Atal Bihari Vajpayee government, had brought a bill to the effect, though it could not be discussed in the parliament. We stand by it, and it was in our manifesto. It is present very much in our manifesto, and majority of the people after reading this manifesto have voted for us.
Maybe this question is coming 60 years too late, but Professor Sinha, my point is, at the end of the day, it's in this day and age that a state should tell us what we should eat. Is just something I don't get.
No, there is no food fascism. You can eat beef, you can get imported beef from anywhere. The state is not saying that you can't eat beef. The state is saying that cows should be protected. Cows should not be slaughtered. Just here, it is not a majoritarian.
No.
When the Constituent Assembly unanimously says that cows protection should be the part of the directive principle of the state policy. What does it mean, directive principle of state policy? It gives the state the mandate to make a law at the appropriate time at the central level.
It gives the state the mandate. If the states have a legislation in place, why talk about a national law? Because that, as Sabha says, gives it a very different political
Because this gives the uneven situation, because cow is worshipped by the millions. It is a religious factor. I am just telling you that Humayun, Akbar and any Muslim ruler, every Muslim ruler has banned the cow slaughter in their reign. So it is not the question of Hindu and Muslims. Muslims have respected, and I just mentioned two names. Ajay Kumar must read the Constituent Assembly debate. Muhammad Sadullah from Assam and Mr. J. Lari from Sabarnaki's state. Both of them supported the ban on the cow slaughter. It is a cultural issue, it is a religious issue, and when the millions of people's sentiment, respect for the millions of people's sentiment is not the majoritarianism. If you will call everything majoritarianism, then no law can be, then culture cannot be respected.
But as Sabha rightly pointed out earlier as well, look at the way cows are treated and left to die when they stop giving milk. I mean, is that how we respect cows? I mean, is that our love? Is that our love for the animal?
Yeah.
But as far I know,
just one thing. You've had a lot of protests. You've had a lot of protests from exporters and from lobbies of farmers who are non-Muslims. So let's not see this as a Muslim issue. And Dalits in Andhra Pradesh get very agitated about this issue.
Okay, Ajay Kumar, yes. Ajay Kumar wants to come in, yes.
And Nidhi, look at the madness. I've heard the Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh saying that now they're going to move to banning eggs. So my question is, and Mr. Sinha, I want to correct him, it's not a national issue. 20 out of 29 states have banned cow slaughter. So 20 out of 29 states have already banned. Why are you raising it? And most of it is in the Hindi belt. So you just want to preach to the people who are not aware, inflame passions, talk to your constituency. But I think the people in this country are smart. 20 out of 29 states already banned.
That's very interesting. Sambit, if the Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh wants to ban, the consumption of eggs, I mean, would you support that?
Nidhi, no one is banning eggs. I'll gift my friend Ajay Kumar a whole bucket full of eggs. Don't worry. No one is banning eggs.
Nidhi, Hey, Sambit, you will get the eggs here because it's a statement by Chief Minister.
It's a thought today that could translate into something tomorrow.
Sambit, ande padenge.
Nidhi, I need to say something.
Yeah, Shobha, go ahead. Yeah.
You know, what it's now reduced to is trivializing the whole issue and Ande and all the rest of it. Let's not make a joke about something which is pretty serious. We were discussing freedom of choice. We were talking about consensus. Now, in the state of Maharashtra, there's been an arrest. I don't think the people of Maharashtra have been consulted about what they feel about it, about what they feel about this cow slaughter. And why do we use the word slaughter only when it comes to cows? Because it's an emotive word. Why don't we say goat slaughter? Why don't we say chicken slaughter? Why? I mean, other animals and other food groups also which are sensitive for certain religious, beliefs. Why don't we just respect everybody's beliefs and leave everybody to their beliefs and leave everybody to eat what they want? These kind of bans, these kind of strictures simply do not work in the 21st century and should not work.
Yeah.
If we call ourselves a democracy.
I have to leave it at that. I have to leave it at that tonight. But I think the point here is ultimately, it is a freedom of choice issue. I don't want it to, become an issue about religion. Like, I've grown up in a family where we didn't eat beef, and I continue to not do that out of respect for a choice that was made, and the way we were brought up. And, I know people who are Hindus who do eat beef, and that's a choice that they make. So I think ultimately it depends on individuals and what choices they want to make. Thank you very much to all of you for joining us tonight on both these subjects. Thank you, Sambit, and to Ajay Kumar, who was sportingly taking jibes at each other throughout the last hour. We'll see you all again tomorrow. Good night.